if you look at the government, really this is more where life is headed. A lot of people think like the future looks like, Terminator and iRobot and all that stuff. If you've ever seen the movie Idiocracy, uh, if you haven't, take a look. It's a pretty good movie, very funny. It's probably more accurate as to where we're headed as a society than some of those other futuristic movies. And in the movie, basically, society becomes so dumbed down that everything falls apart around them. Nothing gets done. Everything is just the buildings are falling down. There's garbage everywhere. People are basically illiterate, and they still function, but all they really do is just sit in front of a screen and play games and watch stuff. And there's a lot of obesity and things like that. That's probably more accurate because we're already at that point now. You already have so many people acting their way now. And the average IQ has gone down over time. So society has gotten more dumbed down. And it probably looks a lot more like Idiocracy in the future than some of the other stuff. Even now they're building robots. They're talking about robots taking over and AI and all this stuff. And I think a lot of people are scared thinking that robots are, going to take everybody's jobs and they're going to, become like the police and imprison us. And how many people have, basic problems with their technology today, with their phones, with their laptops? Obviously things have gotten better and faster and more developed, but we still have so many tech issues. I just don't think the government has the resources or the ability to have technology overtake the people in the future when private corporations that are driven by money and profit have all the resources at their fingertips to be able to do that. They can't even get it right with their technology and equipment today. So what makes you think the government's going to? And California especially. I think at one point, and Elon Musk might have pointed this out, but I've heard other people point it out as well. California spent like billions trying to build like a superhighway or something, and they got less than a mile, whatever it was. It was very, very small amount. It might have been 1,000 feet or so. Very small amount of highway completed, and it took like a couple of years. And it cost them like, I could be totally wrong about the number, but for some reason, 15 billion comes to mind. But it was a high number. It was in the billions. And if they can't even build a fraction of a highway with billions of dollars of taxpayer money and all the time in the world, because a lot of the politicians haven't gone anywhere, they're still in office. What makes you think they're going to build an entire smart city within 4 years? Actually, less now, but if you include 2028, the whole year of 2028, you think if you look at the Manhattan, I believe this is true. I'd have to look it up again because it's been a while, but you can look it up, and if I'm wrong, put it in the comments. I believe it took them back in the early 1900s 1 year to build the Empire State Building, which is an icon. It's a staple in New York. It's part of the skyline. It's a building that's known around the world. It took them 1 year. It took about 10 years for them to rebuild the World Trade Center tower. That at one point it was the tallest building in the world. So yes, obviously it's going to take a little long, but it's not that much taller than the Empire State Building. It took them like a decade to build that building after the World Trade Centers got knocked down on 9/11. And this is like 100 years after the Empire State Building was built. So we're getting dumber, we're getting slower, and that was just one building. How are you going to build an entire smart city? Not even just a city, a smart city, so also technologically advanced as well, in 4 years? It's not going to happen. They're not going to build a smart city by 2028 for the Olympics.